The North Texas Tollway Authority has miles and miles of toll roads. On those toll roads they have maintenance facilities, they have administrative offices, they have plazas, ramp plazas, and of course they have roadways with high-speed traffic. They use cameras not just for surveillance but also for traffic study, for analyzing traffic patterns, for incident detection on their roadways, but then also at the plazas and the administrative buildings to protect their employees, safety, security, just about any application you can think of, they use their cameras for.
We pride ourselves in looking for top-tier vendors to help support our operations. And Sony is definitely one of the industry giants in the IP, or actually in the camera industry.
The real value and the cost savings to the whole community is that we get to make intelligent decisions about the resources to send. Typically, a public safety response means fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, wreckers. All these resources just get sent to the scene because you never have the luxury of knowing exactly what you need.
I think since we've implemented the conversion to IP cameras, the Sony IP cameras have been instrumental in capturing several incidents.
When it's not rush hour traffic, which is actually most of the time, traffic speeds are higher, and so what we have is more danger from hazards that could present themselves out on the road. And if you don't have camera systems out there, if you're not able to have technology out there, you can have some pretty catastrophic events happen.
We have a female walking on the shoulder between Kearney Mills and West Grove.
Anything that can be done from a content analysis standpoint at the camera benefits us tremendously. It can help identify if something's going on quicker without having to rely on our back office software.
It could be a hazardous material situation. Those vehicles are placarded, and if we have a vehicle involved in a collision out there, it's a placarded vehicle, we can use that pan-tilt zoom, we can look at the placard. Nobody in the business has the opportunity to use a camera system and actually use the emergency response guidebook, see that there is a leakage out at the scene, and actually tell the first responders before they have to put themselves in danger what is the required response based on what the hazard is. Talk about save lives.
I've got a stranded motorist. It's going to be westbound George Bush, just north of Sandy Lake. It's going to be on the right shoulder. It appears to be a white Silverado pickup, maybe a four-door.
One of the beauties of the IP-based system is the instant retrieval process. We've had incidents where there's been some type of incident on the roadway and there might be a dispute as to how it occurred or what happened. We've had situations where a trooper's actually been able to call back to the command center and ask for footage of that, and by the time he gets to the command center, which is just a few minutes away, drive time, and they were able to hand him a CD that he could take and look at and evaluate and assess the situation.
With an analog, basically you have a TV standard. Now with the IP camera, it's purely a very high digital quality picture.
When we use the pan-tilt zoom, we're troubleshooting the scene. We're looking for signs of injury, chemical spills, lane closures, whether there's debris in the road, anything else that would contribute and cause secondary collisions.
So far, what we've been hearing from our customers that have experienced the ability of pulling over to the side because their car breaks down and we're able to dispatch a DPS trooper more quickly has been very favorable. They may not understand the technology behind it. All they see is the outcome, that somebody was there to help them in a very quick matter of time.
We're averaging about 1.3 million transactions a day. When you go ahead and you start to run this many transactions on more of a closed system, a smaller system, managing capacity is critical.
We can set the frames per second such that it minimizes my storage requirements when nothing of interest is happening, but then it can detect that something's happening out there that requires attention, increase those frames per second to an acceptable video quality, and then that information would be stored.
Both SecureNet and NTTA are really excited about the IP camera system in the future, in that we look forward to, by the end of this year, having completely converted their system from analog to IP. It will be an entire Sony IP camera installation, whether it's fixed camera or PTZ, whether it's content analysis or surveillance or roadway. It really won't matter where it is. We'll have Sony IP cameras everywhere.
connecting in and bringing these cameras operational is a lot simpler with an IP-based camera than it was with our analog cameras. We have fiber that runs up and down all 50+ miles of our facility on our roadway. So we don't need coax cables and converters. All we need to do is be able to connect into the network.
Having a standard 3 models and using those everywhere is just really exciting to us because it's very easy to manage from a maintenance standpoint. It's very easy to manage from an installation standpoint. And the consistency across the board has just been great so far.
If there are any hiccups along the way in the IP camera industry, Sony will be at the forefront of identifying those and will minimize any of the disruptions or negative impacts that they might experience.
Making the decision to move forward with the IP technology has been a success because of the commitment and the performance that Sony has provided in that process.